Hi, I'm Becca Clarke, and you're watching the Permanent Rain Press.
Hi everyone, it's Chloe with the Permanent Rain Press today. I am so excited to be joined by Becca Clarke. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. I'm just really looking forward to diving into the Black Phone and your time making this movie. But before we get into that, I wanted to ask who or what inspired you to pursue a career in the arts?
Well, I've always loved performing and singing. I've been doing it since I was like 5 or 6. And my parents love to tell the story. Well, not really a story, but like when I was young, I saw the people on the TV. I was like, how did they get there? And my parents were like, oh, they auditioned. I was like, how did they audition? And they told me that there's an agent. So I was like, oh, I want to do that. I want to get an agent. And they're like, yeah, sure. And so then, but I kept saying it. So they got me an agent and I started auditioning. And yeah, and I've also done a lot of theater, local camps. I've just always loved it.
I love that you had this curiosity and you probably poked your parents enough and they were like, okay, we have to get Becca an agent. And you have said that Zendaya and Maya Hawke are a couple of influences
Yeah.
of yours, which I think is so perfect because they act and they also can do music as well, like yourself.
Yeah. Uh, I really love Maya Hawke because she just does everything. She's really great. And Zendaya. And Billie Eilish also. I love how she started so young and was homeschooled and she does music. I love her music.
It's so nice to have people around like a similar age to you, right? Knowing that they can make it and do well in the industry. And you mentioned theater productions. You're most recently in last year's Fun Home. So what do you enjoy about being on the stage and how has it challenged you?
Well, I love being on stage. I just love like letting go, performing, singing my heart out. And it's very nerve-wracking, but after the show, you just get like an adrenaline boost, and all the people are really nice that I've met so far. And it's challenging. A lot of shows have like all these aspects, and you have to think of when you're coming in and act off of people and get your cues right. And especially Fun Home because I was getting pushed out of my range, and it was a lot of singing, and it was one of my first like main roles. So it was really fun, and I auditioned back in 2019, but it got pushed because of COVID, and I hadn't done a lot of theater singing over COVID. So when I was told I was still doing it, I was like, oh. But I worked my way back up there, and it was really fun.
You did receive a lot of positive reviews for your role as Small Allison, so I hope you continue to get to be on stage. Tell me about the support of your family. Like, how supportive have they been, and in what ways have they helped you as an artist?
My family has been very supportive. All my family is very artistic and loud, and they love pushing me to do things. Like my mom is basically my manager. She drives me everywhere. She signs me up for things. She got me my agent. She checks my email without me asking her to. And my dad owns a music school, and I've been going there since I was 6 or 7. And he took me to film the Black Phone and is always like signing me up for things, telling me to do stuff and pushing me. And he also put me in the band program. That's how I got to do my band. And my sister and I have always liked the same things. So we're like theater, singing, acting. So we've been very supportive for each other on that area. And my grandparents are also very musical. My grandma might kill me if I don't shout her out on here. So she loves theater. She goes to almost all my shows. And she always is texting me, like, you should see these videos of these performers and asking me how auditioning's going. Like, have you gotten anything big yet? I'm like,
Hopefully
so
soon. If not, yeah, hopefully. I know if there's upcoming projects, maybe you can't say too much later on, but it's so nice that you have that close relationship with your family and you can talk to them about your career and passionate about it too. You mentioned filming the Black Phone. We'll talk about that and then get into 3-day weekends. But you got to film the Black Phone in your home state of North Carolina. So how did the audition process go? And like, what drew you to the film, and how did you end up being cast as Donna?
Well, I had been auditioning for like a year before I got the Black Phone audition. When I originally got the audition for Donna, I couldn't do it because I had laryngitis and I was just not feeling up. I was like, I'm so sick, I can't do this. So then they called me to be a teen girl. Um, so I auditioned for that when I was feeling better, and then they called me to be a one of the kids in the hallway that were talking about Finney. I don't know. I said something like there it was an axe to the head. I don't really remember. So I was like, oh, those auditions were fine. I mean, it's just like another audition. And then eventually, I guess they hadn't found the part, so they called me again. They're like, we want you to audition for Donna again. And so I was like, you know what, whatever. So I did like the coaching and I taped, and then I forgot about it. Like a week later, I was in my kitchen, I think, and my mom just comes up and she shows me the email, and I was like, it was my first job, and I was so excited. And I didn't know much about the movie. I was kind of freaked out that it was a scary movie because I don't do a lot of scary movies, but I was really excited. And when I read the script, I thought it was really cool. So.
I love that, and I love that your mom was the one to show you the email and kind of have that moment together. And as your debut film, like, do you remember your very first day on set? And if so, what do you recall from it?
Yeah, I really remember my first day set because it was when we filmed the baseball scene, and it was supposed to be hot, nice summer day, and it was freezing. And I was wearing these summer clothes. I had this cold soda that I was drinking, and they had to put coats on us in between scenes, like in between takes, because it was just so cold. But the people I was like the girls I was talking to were really nice. We had much fun, and the director Scott, I didn't really meet him, but he was like, "Hey Donna, you need to do this, or you need to walk away, or you need to look at the camera now." So that was great, and it was a pretty short day, but we were standing out there for pretty long.
And I'm sure very interesting experience because as you mentioned, you're kind of been being given directions and the camera's probably pretty close to you and it's just focusing on you for your shot. So you kind of are like, okay, I hope I'm doing this right. I hope I'm doing well.
Yeah, it was through the fence, so I couldn't really see what they were telling me to do, but I caught on eventually, and I was just like, "Oh, okay." And then we were talking, and I was drinking my soda, and then I ran out, so they had to like refill it, and I was just it was a lot for my first day, but it was really fun.
And you made it work. What kind of soda was it? Was it tasty at least?
Yes, it was good. It was orange soda.
We do know that Donna is Finney's classmate at school, but don't see much of else of her life. I'm curious if you created a bit of a backstory for her or identified parts of her personality that you wanted to focus on.
I wouldn't necessarily created a backstory, but I did definitely see her as like popular because she was always with some sort of friends. Um, I took it as she did well in school because in the scene they said I was taking notes, so I was focused. And the notes I was doing in the actual scene were not neat, but I took her as being a neat note taker. And she definitely cares about people. Like she's really sweet, and it says in the scene that she wishes her and her brother were friends like that. So I just saw her as her parents being busy and always having to be with her brother, but they don't really get along that much. And so, yeah, um, I didn't really see her doing extracurriculars, maybe like the science team or debate club.
Because I think it's nice that you took elements from the script and kind of related it to how you might want to play her, especially, the brother scenario. I'm guessing maybe similar to Gwen and Finney, maybe she had an older brother, slightly older.
Yeah.
She is friendly, you mentioned, towards Finney. She knows he gets bullied at school. What do you think she saw? What did she like about him?
Well, I was assuming they kind of had seen each other around. and in the starting scene, she's watching him play baseball. So I think she's like seen him play baseball, and I think she doesn't like she likes him, but it's not like a long time thing. It's like starting to form, and she I feel she feels bad for him because she sees him getting bullied, but she also just I think she likes him because he's sweet and nice to talk to, and she can just sit down with him and talk to him, and he seems smart. And I always saw her as smart, so that might mean something that she likes.
Yeah, I think that, and these are young children. These are kind of like new feelings. I know that she can recognize when people are being bullies, like she mentioned. When she heard that Finney had been taken, what do you think she was feeling?
I think she felt scared and like was worried about him because if you hear someone that you like is being kidnapped, that's terrifying. Like, are they gonna be okay? Are they gonna what's going on? And people that get kidnapped did not return, so she probably thought, oh, he's gonna die. And um, when it's someone from school, it's different than if it's like someone you're really close to. But I still could see her being really upset about it. And when we were filming that scene, I didn't want to like I didn't know because it was just so short of a snippet. I was like, I don't know what to do. Big emotions. So I just thought like Donna would be sad. She cares about people. She she cares about Finney, and it's really scary if you lose someone that you care about.
Yeah, I think that's such a good assessment because it's like where you don't want to overreact. Like Donna's not going to be completely crying her eyes out, but it's something like you mentioned, it's a scary new feeling for her. And obviously, maybe thinking about like her own brother too, like if that happened, do you think she would have reached out to Gwen at all?
I feel like she's someone that would give her condolences, reach out to the family, see if there's okay, but I don't think that she would like reach out to Gwen because it doesn't seem like they really know each other and she wants to probably make her feel better, like apologize to her. But it doesn't seem like she would want to intrude.
Yeah, especially when she knows that, maybe their home life's not that great. Gwen is going through her own stuff. But I'd like to think that Donna and Gwen, if they had met, would be good friends because we
Yeah.
know Donna admires Gwen's toughness and how she
Mhm.
stood up to the bullies. You
Yeah.
shared most of your scenes with Mason. Did the two of you ever kind of talk one-on-one about your characters and their relationship? And what can you say about working with Mason?
Well, it wasn't we didn't really like talk about our relationship. When we first met, it was kind of awkward because it's just new people, but our parents started initiating conversations and really making us, and he was really nice our first filming day together. And he was focused and he was really just naturally a great actor. And I was like, so I have to like, okay, I have to act good next to him because it was my first job. And I was like, oh, this guy's good. So I was nervous, but he was really nice. And I just think he's very talented.
Him and Madeline in this movie just, blew it out of the
Yeah.
water. They were so good as the Blake siblings. Have you thought about a sequel or prequel for the Black Phone and what you would be interested in seeing, not even just like with Donna, but as a fan of the movie?
I honestly don't think like I don't know where it would go if we had a sequel. I know there was like been talk of there being an idea for one. I personally don't know where it would go, but knowing Joe Hill, he probably has something great. Um, I would like to see since the grabber's dead. I would like to see more of Gwen, and because she's great, everybody loves Gwen. She's so funny, and maybe what happens to the phone because the phone, if it can talk, if it's in touch with the spirit world, it can't just like not. It can't just become a regular phone. In my
That's a good point. It can't disappear. Like there's honestly so many different kind of stories and routes I can see it going. How was your experience working with Scott Derrickson, your director? Like how did he interact with the cast?
He was a great director. When he always seemed to have very clear notes and a clear idea of where he wanted this to go, and his notes made sense. He had a great relationship with all the younger cast. He was really nice. All the younger and older cast. He's really nice and funny and understanding, and I'm very grateful to have him as my director.
And it's so nice to have such a good experience for your first feature film. How about your favorite memories from making this movie? It could be on set or off set, just getting to spend time with the cast.
I The cast is great. When I first came to the hotel and they were all hanging out, they just welcomed me. They were really sweet. Kind on set, it was professional, but it was still fun. Like everyone was really nice. I think I only filmed with Mason, but Maddie was there for the gymnasium scene, and she was really sweet. And she's like, "Ooh, I'll be watching you. It'll be great." So, and offset, we would go to the hotel and just hang out. Everyone was really nice. We would play games, and it was really fun.
Did it have a very like summer camp vibe to it?
Yeah. I was kind of nervous because first job, new group of people. They had all been there for so long, but they were just really accepting and really sweet.
And you went to the Hollywood premiere in June. How incredible was that night and your time in LA?
It was really fun. I was terrified. I was like building up to the night. I was like, "Oh yeah, it's a premiere." I mean, and I met with the PR lady, and she was like, "You're gonna do you might do some interviews. Like, you gotta prepare." I was like, "Oh, okay." So I prepared for interviews, and I was like, "You know what? I'm ready." We get there. There's a line, and I was confused. I was like, "I don't know how to get in here." So I met with the PR lady, and she gave me my ticket. And we walked up, and they're like, "Oh, you're next." I was like, "Okay." And they rushed me on, and everyone just started yelling my name. And I was looking at the different cameras, and I didn't know when to step up and when not. And I think I was walking too fast because everyone was just like posing, and I didn't know what to do. So I just stood there smiling, and I didn't know when to stop smiling. So it was like a big blur, and it happened really fast. But it was really fun. And I know I said that a lot, but everything about this movie was fun. And I was walking, and they were just calling my name, and the lady was under me, like showing my name to the people. And then when I got off, I saw Maddie and Mason in them. And I didn't do interviews, but I did this one TikTok where they asked me what would happen if the phone rang.
I can just imagine because it was a black carpet fitting for the movie, but everyone's just like, Becca, look over here, Becca, look over there. And yeah, it's great that you got that experience. And I know your dad was with you as
Yeah.
well, so you got to kind of celebrate with him and you were signing autographs. Do you have your signature all set, or do you think it's kind of been changing a little?
Well, in July, I definitely did not have a signature. I was just like, I
Like you
signed the post.
printing your name out.
I signed the poster, and it was my signature was too big, and then I signed it, it was too small. And I do not have a signature figured out. It's slowly gotten better, but since then, because I've had to sign more things, but that was like the first time I'd signed anything. So I was like, I don't have a signature. Because
Now
you
you
never really
know.
think of like needing to make a signature until it just happens.
What was your reaction kind of watching the film for the first time, that final cut?
Well, well, in the theater, it was huge, and there was like this huge screen, sound all around. It was dark. There's so many people. The theater was beautiful. Um, they sat me next to Spencer and my dad, and Spencer and I knew like when the jump scares were happening, especially with the axe. So I was just looking away, and I was like bracing myself. But some of them I was not prepared for. It was really well edited, and everyone's performances were so good. They are all truly talented. And it was kind of weird seeing my face just up there, but especially since it had been like 2 years ago. I was like, oh, that's how it turned out. That's really cool. And I was like, oh, I remember filming that. And it's crazy how something can go from filming it to how it looks on screen.
Yeah, you had a bit of deja vu watching watching the scenes play back. Do you think that you'll be more interested in watching kind of thriller horror movies after the Black Phone, or you're still a little on edge about them?
I'm still a little on edge about them. Like, when after I watch a scary movie, I'm like, what was that? Is but the Black Phone wasn't as scary as some of the movies now, so I don't know if it truly prepared me, but I might. I mean, I've started like wanting to, but I've been holding back.
I think you just need to like get a group of you all together who might be a little on edge and then watch it together and then you'll you'll get into seeing them more because it's just the appreciation for a film like this movie. Like you mentioned, it was so well edited and especially with such a young cast, like aside from Ethan Hawke, and I mean him as the grabber. Were you very impressed by his performance?
Yeah, it was kind of creepy. I was watching, I was like, that is terrifying. But he did it so well because that's why it was so terrifying. So you have to appreciate, but also be scared at the same time.
Since the premiere, you have reunited with a handful of the cast. You celebrated Jordan's birthday. You were at Woods of Terror. I believe there's, I want to say, seven of you. It's yourself, Spencer, Jordan Brady, Braxton, Faye, Reagan. I think I got it. Yeah, the seven. Tell me about this group, and what the friendship has meant to you.
Well, it was all of us in North Carolina that could get together, that could make it to to Jordan's birthday. Uh, it was a really fun crew. When we first got together, I was like, "Oh, I've only met like three of these people." But when we actually got together, it was really fun because we got together at Carowinds originally, and I wanted to do every single ride. I was all over it, and almost everyone was on board. And so it was really fun, and the day went by fast. Everyone's really funny and really smart, and just they're really fun to talk to. They're easy to talk to. They're kind. We have similar music tastes, at least the girls do. So, yeah. Some of us, when we met up for ice skating in Woods of Terror, we were terrified. When we were walking in the original door, we were like, we don't want to do this. Can we go back? And the parents were like, no, we bought the tickets. We can't go back. And so we were all like terrified. And then I didn't originally go in because I was scared. And so I had to go through with Reagan's mom and meet up with the rest of the group. So that just made it scarier. But it was still great. It was a great experience.
It's so nice that, like you mentioned, you hadn't actually spent a lot of time with some of them on set, but then meeting after the fact, you can kind of like spend more time talking to each other. Who are you calling out about music taste? So you said the girls have similar taste. Who would you say has the most like not like your music taste out of the guys?
Well, I don't know. I just know that me, Bay, and Reagan like Taylor Swift. We were all listening to her new
The new
album.
album, yeah. What's your favorite song off the new album?
Ooh, that's hard. Probably either You're on Your Own Kid or Sweet Nothing.
Those are good. I think I like Maroon. That one's my
I like
favorite
Maroon
from
too.
Midnights. Yeah. It's nice to have that in common with them. And when you're together, who is the person who says we have to film a TikTok? Because I know that there's been a bunch of TikToks created when you all get together.
We're all very like social media people, so we usually all have ideas for TikToks. It's mostly like me, Reagan, Brady, Jordan, Braxton, almost all of us. So
You're gonna like name all
yeah.
seven of you. Yeah. That's great though. I know that the fans love it and it's just more content for them to use for edits. And speaking of fans, like the support has been so wild and passionate. What messages and comments have you received or seen?
I've gotten some really sweet messages. People are so kind, and I really appreciate them messaging me. Though on Instagram, it's gotten to a point where I can't read like all of them because I go away and then I come back and it's just like I'll do it later. But I really appreciate reading all the kind messages. Everyone's really sweet, and everyone like the people that make the edits, they take the time out of their day to edit me, and that's just weird, but I love it. it's so crazy to me because like 3 months ago, no one would have done that, but now I'm here.
How much time, like, would you say, I know you're super busy, but between TikTok and Instagram, like, do you have a favorite app to use and kind of scroll through what people have been saying?
Definitely TikTok because it's just easier to manage in my opinion. Because with Instagram, I have stories to look at and posts to go through and pages, and I have to make posts, and I'm just like ah. But with TikTok, it's just like it's nice to just read through my comments and be like, oh, thank you, because on TikTok I do have the age restrictions. So I do have limited comments, so it's much easier to manage. And I'm just more on TikTok mainly, though I do like Instagram.
What's on your For You page
Mainly
typically?
Taylor Swift stuff. A lot of stuff on the new Wednesday show on Netflix, but I haven't seen it yet, so I'm just like, don't, don't
Don't
spoil it.
spoil it before you watch it. You have to watch it first and then you can kind of scroll through that rabbit hole, I'm sure.
And sometimes I'll see edits, and I'm like, oh, this is cool, because I usually like supporting edit accounts, even if it's like nothing I know of. And then it'll be an edit of like one of the cast members. I'm like, oh, okay, hey, and then I just keep scrolling.
We'll go through some tweets now. So if you want to grab your phone out. Do you think
Uh,
that's accurate? I think it's pretty accurate.
yeah, I think it's cute. I feel like Donna would love flower pens, though I have no idea how to make them. She might.
Donna might, yeah.
A highly organized planner. Yeah, I always picture her having the different colored pens and the highlighters and the mechanical pencils.
Did you like the wardrobe that they had you in? Like, was it always nice to go into hair and makeup costumes in the morning?
Yeah, all the hair and makeup people were so nice. Um, yeah, the costumes, I loved them. And whenever I tried them on, I was like, these are so cool. And I loved the style of all of her outfits and the little skirts and her ribbons. I just thought all of it together. I loved it.
Yeah, the knee-high socks and plaid. It probably felt interesting to be transported back to like 1978 aesthetic.
The outfits, the sets, the journals I was using, the bags instead of huge backpacks like I'm used to. It was all like weird to be transported, but it was really fun. Cool. Donna has absolutely zero clue about what's happening during Finney's games. Yeah, I don't understand sports, and well, not a lot of sports. I understand some, but yeah, she doesn't seem like one to watch a lot of sports.
So
Usually,
that's a fact. That could be a good assumption. You're
I
coming
just
from Donna herself.
just go to sports for like the social aspect. So I feel like
And
that's
there's
what.
no harm in that.
Yeah, it's the fact that Robin was the only one who called Finney Finn, and by the end of the film, when Donna said hi to him using Finney, he said, "Call me Finn instead." Yeah. Um, the last scene was a lot in like 2 sentences. When I got the note from the director, he was like, "Yeah, just be instead of being like, oh, it's Finney, like you're back, crazy." He didn't give me that. No, he had me surprised that Finney was just gonna come up and sit down right next to me, be brave. So the way a lot of people had their opinions on that scene, like why wasn't Donna surprised? Why didn't Donna say more than hi, Finney? Honestly, I think it works for her character. Because what do you say to someone that gets back from being kidnapped and then kills the kidnapper and then comes back and just sits down right next to you after barely talking to you? So
I thought it was kind of just like, she remained cool and calm during that situation because it also probably would not be like her to kind of freak out, like you mentioned, the cue about being so surprised. Although that would have been funny to kind of watch. Do you think
yeah,
that she sensed that new confidence in him then?
yeah, definitely. Because in the whole scene, he was just confident, happier. The bullies didn't mess with him anymore. They were kind of scared of him. So it was just a brand new feeling. She definitely sensed that.
Were you a fan of the friendship between Robin and Finney?
Yes, I thought it was so sweet. I love Robin as a character. and I love his friendship with Finney and how he protects him. I think they're very great. I love their dynamic. Tristan's curse got to Becca.
Do you know
Yeah,
what this is regarding the whole Wi-Fi thing?
yeah, when I went live, my Wi-Fi got really bad, and I don't know why. And everyone was saying, Becca, your Wi-Fi. I was like, what? Because I didn't notice. And it all started when Tristan's Wi-Fi got bad, and they started calling it the Tristan curse whenever anyone has bad Wi-Fi. I just thought that was funny. Oh, the edits. It's so weird watching myself. Half the time, I don't know where people find these videos. Like, I know half of them from my TikTok, but some of them I forgot existed. And then I'll see random videos that my parents own or my sister owns. I'm like, how did you get those? And I look at their like my parents' pages, and I'm like, well, it's just my dad for Notasium. But I look at the page and I look at my sister's page. I'm like, where are you getting these videos? And I think the edits are really sweet, so I'm not questioning it. Wow, that is so cool. Oh, that's funny.
It's cute, right?
Yeah, it
People are
does look
probably like,
like
why didn't
it.
this scene happen? The kiss on the cheek, but the outfits are the same as in the movie, so the detail is on point.
Yeah, yeah, that looks a lot like her. This person made a joke in a comment section, like, it's funny how they cut the scene where Donna and Finney confess their love for each other, and everyone's like, what? They did? And so everyone was asking me, like, Becca, did you guys film this scene? Did it happen? And I was like, no. I was so confused. It was just everyone wants it to happen.
You're like, sorry for letting you down, but it didn't happen.
The way the movie ended was good. Like, they just met. It's not, they're science partners. It's
Yeah,
not.
they're not going to profess their love for each other as much as people might
Couldn't.
want them to.
Yeah.
Maybe some years down the line, you never know. But yeah, it's so great that people have kind of taken their own interpretations and ideas to and ran with it. We'll talk about your music now, 3 Day Weekends. You formed 2021. So what can you tell me about the band's start?
Well, I've actually been in the band program since I was like 6, 7, and that's a little too young to be in a band, but I did it, and I was performing with some high schoolers. Then they went to college, and it was just me, this guy Zach. So then we formed 3 Day Weekends, I think in like 2019, but we didn't start like writing original music until later on. And because we mostly did covers, and so when Zach introduced these chords that he had, we're like, whoa! And my dad, Zach, and I did most of the writing for the first song since I had never really written a song that wasn't me strumming aimlessly on a guitar before, as said in my Instagram post. And um, so we wrote that song and we performed it, but we didn't like do anything with it. And then we wrote three more, and I started to get the hang of it. And I started to write songs of my own, but those haven't gone anywhere. I've been keeping them down there. And my dad suggested we record, so he got us in the recording studio. I was like, "Whoa, this is so cool!" I was so excited. First recording studio, and it was so cool, the mixing. I was exhausted by the end of it, but they had all the music stuff. It was a huge board, and I was in the studio, and we ran it a bunch of times. They had me sing all these little things, and we did it in this big studio with this grand piano. And I thought it was crazy to be doing that. And then Zach left, so we haven't. He went to pursue his breakdancing in New York. He's actually very talented, very proud of him. But we haven't written a lot since then.
Well, how would you describe your sound or your genre to new listeners?
It's like jazzy pop. It's jazzy. We write a lot, like a variety. We have like my dad calls it a Latin piece. ish. It's like a Latin beat, agree to disagree. Um, and my the rest of my songs are like slow, jazzy, feely, moody. So yeah, we have a little bit of a variety, but I would say jazz.
What's fun is I feel like with your releases, you do hear that jazz kind of R&B, but when I see your live videos, there's also like a rock vibe that you give off, especially with the different guitars that you have. Right now, it's yourself, Cash, KJ, and Ruby May. So have the four of you, do you just play live together, or have you kind of tried songwriting together?
We haven't tried songwriting because we have had a very busy October. Um, we perform our originals. We do a lot of covers. We've been doing more rock covers because we just all started just liking those. Um, but yeah, we have definitely talked about it, but we just haven't had any.
Hopefully when
Hopefully.
you have the time. Yeah, you're all busy, all still in school, I believe. With the original songs that you do have that you wrote, like with your dad and with did you say Zach, where did you find inspiration from?
Uh, well, the first song, Going Somewhere, it was just like a general idea, and just my songs. There were some were personal, some were just fun, some were just telling stories that I made up, and some were just I don't know, just things that I've heard of that haven't actually happened to me. But whatever came to me in the moment, I was like, that's good. I'm gonna write about that.
Do you have like a notebook, or do you ha use the notes function on your phone when you kind of think of something new?
I tried making a notebook work, but I'm very not in one place when it comes to writing because it's whatever's around when I have the idea. So I just started writing there, and I put in my notes app, and then I do like voice memos, and then I write on another notebook, and then I write on my hand. So it's a
Everywhere.
little.
It's everywhere, your ideas. Well, I do hope that we get to hear. I know you mentioned you might have some slow songs that haven't fully thought out yet in the future. I feel like that would also be kind of old Taylor, like very Taylor Swift like. You have played some more gigs recently. How have those been going? And do you ever get nervous before a big performance?
I I like to say that I don't get nervous because I've done so many, but for some reason I'm just still always so just shaky before a show. But I mean, if I'm not nervous, then it's not like exciting to me. So I think the nerves make it exciting because I love performing, and it's a good thing that it makes me nervous in my view. So I I can't really tell between nerves and excitement at this point. So I'm just rolling with it, and I love performing. I love performing with my band. They're really nice, and they're very talented.
NC State Fair, which I know was a big gig for all of you. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I saw on TikTok that you actually also met some fans in person who have been out to some of your gigs.
Yeah, I went to the state fair. I was getting ready, and I just see these fans, and I'm like, "There's people here." So then I was tuning my guitar, and they told me to come here, and um, the girl had me sign. I think it was her book. I haven't read the book yet. I've heard it's really good, but also like I don't it's probably scarier than the movie. I don't really want to read that, but I'm pretty sure. Well, not pretty sure. I do want to read it. Um Hopefully I will get around to it. But I signed the book, and she gave me a note, and it was so sweet. I was very happy about that. And she got a video of me saying hi to her Instagram group chat, which I have said hi to a couple times, even though Instagram group chats crowd my messages feed. I sometimes just click on them to say hi. Sometimes I'll accidentally click on one, and they'll be like, Becca, Becca, come say hi. Like, I
They
don't
never want
even
you to
want to say
leave
hi.
if you click into it, they'll never let you go.
Yeah.
In terms of 3-day weekends, like what can we expect in 2023? Will you be working on recording new music or hopefully just more live shows as well?
Um, well, I've been writing some songs of my own, but I don't they're not finished, and I don't think I'll be recording them anytime soon. I don't know how I feel about my own music, but my dad will always be telling me to do more with it. So maybe 3-day weekends. Hopefully, we'll start writing more soon. And live shows, we don't. We have some Christmas things planned, but that's about it.
Around the holidays, is it always a good time to get together? I'm sure play for like family and friends and that kind of thing. Aside from Taylor Swift, who else are you listening to on your playlist?
A lot of Christmas music. Thanksgiving, even before Thanksgiving. Uh, Kelly Clarkson, Billie Eilish, as you know, Maya Hawke, Mariah Carey, always. Um, Let me see. Michael Jackson, Tyler the Creator. Yeah.
Got a good mix there. And of course, you mentioned Christmas, like All I Want for Christmas Is You, like classic. Everyone has to have that on their playlist. I have one more question for your signature question. If you could be any ice cream flavor, which would you be and why?
If I could be any ice cream flavor, or if I was an ice cream flavor.
Either or.
Okay. I feel like I'm. Ooh, this is hard. I would want to be chocolate chip cookie dough or chocolate ice cream because those are my favorite flavors. I feel like I'm like cotton candy or because cotton candy is like all over the place and like sweet, but also like it's on and off, you know? And I feel like that's very much me. I'm very much all over the place. Or chocolate chip cookie dough. I don't know why, just chocolate chip cookie dough.
I think that that's the perfect way to end things off to think about that. But thank you so much, Becca, for taking the time to chat. I really appreciate it.
Yes, thank you for inviting me.
For all those watching, make sure to catch Becca in the Black Phone. It is out now on DVD and video on demand, and we will see you next time.